I did my compost bins this morning. Oh my god. Ooh. I wonder if I had a healthier lifestyle, if my, wouldn't smell that bad. But that was horrible. Well, hello, and welcome to Micro Meth Labs. Micro Meth Lab. It's not funny. I thought it, like in my head earlier, I thought that was a funny joke. Whoa, Peanut. It's too hot to do any type of lovings. Way too hot. Oh no, it's just too hot to do any type of lovings. Peanut, your body heat is just too much. Only winter time we get lovings, okay? Only winter. This is stupid. I want loving 24/7, 365. Okay, I will give you distance loving. Like distance, like stay back, stay back. So I can't remember if I said this in previous videos, but I'm going to be facing all this cabinetry out with steel. Some 1" by 1" steel, box tubing, and then the doors are going to be made out of steel, and then I'll do like an inlay. I'm going to be using walnut. I'll give that away. I'm going to use walnut for all like the accent inside the steel. All the steel is going to be aged bronze, just like my trim, so it's going to tie the whole house in together. All this will be trimmed out with that, as well as all the closet will be trimmed out with 2" by 1" because I need width. The door to the bathroom, door to the laundry room, these doors, all of them are going to be out of the steel, so I'm going to have to do a lot of cutting and welding and all this stuff. So before I committed too much to that project, I needed to, test out my welding capabilities. And of course, I took on the hardest project thus far. So right here, I have this large cubby area. There's just a huge opening. I could just do a shelf and then put a door on it and call it good. I could do, 4 or 5 pull-out drawers for silverware and stuff like that. But since my kitchen is so small, I kind of want to be able to make this kitchen bigger, as well as have storage here. So what I did was I made a metal rack. This is not finished. Okay, you gotta bear with me. It'll be on 4 wheels. It'll be a shelf inside here, so I'll be able to store stuff here, and the top will be an end grain butcher block that I'm gonna make. I think I'm gonna be putting my trash can here. I said I was gonna cut a hole in the butcher block top and have the trash right there, but someone said have it on like another drawer that pops out here, which I kind of think is a good idea. So I don't need to settle on what I'm going to do here just yet, but there's going to be a trash can incorporated into this unit somewhere, somehow. So to start out, I had to get the wheels to figure out the heights, made some marks, figured out how thick I want my butcher block top, which is going to be about 2 inches thick. And then I just made my steel box, cut everything, welded it. I've already aged bronze most of it. I got to clean it again. I'll probably have to touch it up and then clear coat it. After I built this, I realized that I kind of have to put a couple more pieces of steel into this. I think it's pretty cool. So this pulls out like that. So now I'll have a larger kitchen. I can still get by here. This is okay. It's not like ideal, but this is good. You can always push that in a little. I'll have a cutting board, stuff, more stuff, and then cooking. I think it's good. It's perfect. So let's go add in these extra pieces of steel, and I'll show you what I did, kind of, some of it, bits and pieces. I make a lot of boxes out of wood. I've done many boxes out of wood. But this was a challenge. And you couldn't get any more simple. I think it looks pretty freaking cool. I mean, I had to do some cleaning up and shit, but... So I need to add one more piece of square tubing right here to support this shelf. It's kind of complicated to explain, but it needs to be there. I also have to add a bunch of like little pieces of metal that come down that have holes in it, so that when I put that inlaid wood in, I've got something to screw through and connect it into this frame. I don't have those little pieces of metal, but I'll do that off camera. I'm just really just going to show you how to do this one piece, and then we're going to jump ahead probably a few months. So when I made this, I made obviously a little chart with all the numbers on it and stuff, but I'm just going to double check this. Should be 21 1/4. It's like a 30-second light. I'm gonna cram it in there. So I've already squared up my end on this square tubing, marked out my 21 1/4. If you or somebody you know has a drug problem, tell them to call me. Maybe we could be friends. I'm kidding. I don't do drugs. I used to. So I'm gonna be welding this in to here. Now, in order to get a good weld on it, you want to chamfer these edges so you get good penetration and good thick weld, I guess. I don't know. I forgot to say that I'm not a welder, I'm not a metal worker, I don't know anything about metal. It's very difficult to work with as far as I'm concerned. But whatever. So I'm just using a flap disc sander, It's got little bits of flappy sandpaper, and it's a flap disc sander. It's pretty cool. So I want to acid treat these before I install them, so that it just makes the whole process easier. I'm gonna have to go back and touch up with acid. I'll probably take like a rag, get it wet with the acid, and just wrap it around there so that I can do it. Unless I can paint it on, I don't think I will be able to. But I'm gonna sandblast this before. Unfortunately, I ran out of acid, so I don't have any. So I'm going to install this, and then I'm going to have to deal with that nightmare later. So sandblast time.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be bright. From now on,
bam! So there you go. Sandblasted. Looks halfway decent, doesn't it? I think it does. Now we got to figure out what height. If I was really smart, I would have bought some canisters that, you know, that seal with little latches on them, with a little rubber gasket that hold like pasta and flour and sugar and salt and stuff like that. I would have bought some, and it would have made this fit those perfectly. Cereals, grains, oats. Are oats grains? I don't know, but you know what I mean. I mean, a box of cereal. How big's a box of cereal? Is it over 14 inches? Let's put that motherfucker right in the center. So whenever you're welding metal, it shifts when you heat it. Whenever you heat and cool metal, it like moves. So it's like impossible to make something square. I know they do it, and I know a lot of you are welders because my trailer build video probably brought you here. Most viewed video I have on my channel. But anyways, I like to clamp stuff in. When I made this whole square box thing, I was using all my clamps and wire to pull things and hold it in place while I welded it. Forgot to do this, but I want to take off anything that's on this. I want to have raw metal right here. I'm going to get a better weld. Since I'm using a really cheap welder, it's kind of good to do this. So I'm using my cheap little Harbor Freight welder. It's not the greatest. I really don't feel like I get good penetration, but a good welder is thousands, maybe $1,000, and I'm not yet ready to make that commitment. One day soon I will be, when I build my next trailer. Next trailer? Dan, what's your plans? Oh, I've got big plans. Big plans. I just have to sell this house, and then I can keep going. So I've cleaned up all this area where I'm going to weld, and it's ready to go. I got my grounding thingy in there. Again, I don't know what I'm doing. Don't ever listen to me. That's on, that's grounded. Peanut is not in here. Settle down with your comments. Oh my God, people are just ridiculous. Shut up. Man, it's horrible to breathe. Well ventilated area, since I'm using, I think, flux core. I don't know. I think that was beautiful. Holy shit, that was one of my nicest welds ever. That's my ugliest welds. I have my best and my ugliest. So they have different kinds of flap disc sanders. This one's just like a normal one. It's just square on the end. This one is rounded all the way around. So you can use this for is like an inside corner where you welded. This will clean it up nice and pretty. I don't know what it's called. This is it. A Diablo. I don't know. I got it at Home Depot. But you can smooth corner welds. So I'm going to use that. You can use this all around, you know. I'm going to put that on there. I'm going to clean these welds up. And then in who knows how much time, we're going to jump back into this. And we're going to finish this. We're going to get more towards the woodworking side on this. Yeah, you're not supposed to be in here, remember? People are going to comment. Okay, can I come back now, please? Yes, you can. You can come back in.